Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your spoilers for this week, the last week of 2013 and beginning 2014. And first off, we have some news. KSTP TV 5 in Minneapolis, Minnesota features a story with former University of Minnesota lineman and one-time NFL prospect Mike Rallis talking about his recent WWE tryout at the Performance Center in Orlando. Rallis recently completed a second round of tryouts and is now waiting to hear back from WWE. WWE's website has published a playlist featuring all 13 of Triple H's world title victories. WrestlingDVDnews.com reports that WWE's Best of Raw and SmackDown 2013 Blu-ray may have been canceled. The DVD is still on, but the Blu-ray has been removed from online listings and internal schedules. Brock Lesnar was not in attendance from last night's UFC 168 pay-per-view in Las Vegas. That was Saturday night. Unless it was kept a very big secret. An ESPN reporter saw UFC's celebrities in attendance list backstage, and Lesnar was not listed. But, spoiler, he could be on Raw tonight. WWE NXT star Mojo Rawley noted on Twitter that he will be in attendance tonight at the SmackDown tapings over the weekend from his hometown in Washington, D.C. WWE has added tribute to the Truth matches that did not air on TV to their website and YouTube, and the following matches did not make the TV episode was Dolph Ziggler versus Kofi Kingston, The Shield versus Rey Mysterio and the Usos, Divas Battle Royal, and here's what happened on the taped show. Thanks to Reginald for the following spoilers that aired. Well, actually, these were the spoilers that aired on December 28th, and I'm just now getting the news to y'all. And they taped it on December 12th. And here we go. Big E Langston and Mark Henry defeated Ryback and Curtis Axel in the dark match. That was another match on TV. Daniel Bryan defeated Eric Rowan and Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt when they interfered. Vicky Guerrero restarted the match, leading to Bryan and CM Punk defeated Rowan and Harper by disqualification when Bray Wyatt interfered again. John Cena came out for the save, and Vicky makes it a six-man match. Cena's team wins when he hits the attitude adjustment on Harper. Then Cena gives a speech to the troops, and he got the Cena chant, gets the Borgasm chant of yes going, which filled the hangar where they taped the show at. Darren Young and Titus O'Neil, primetime players, defeated 3MB. Wonder if that's all three of them, because the missing Wendy's poster child. Okay, so that was I guess that's Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal. That was in attendance. The Usos and Rey Mysterio defeated the Shield. Brie Bella won the Divas Battle Royal by eliminating AJ. Kofi Kingston defeated Dolph Ziggler, and R-Truth defeated Fandango. And then Daughtry performed 4 songs, and Jeff Dunham did some stand-up comedy with Ahmed and Peanut. Big Show came out and did a segment with Peanut before beating Damien Sandow. While WWE is using Big Show in a diaper to hype tonight's New Year's Raw, he is not being advertised for the show for competition. WWE will be running a live event in Toronto at the same time during next week's Raw, which is going to be in Richmond, Virginia. Well, of course, that was the end of the show where after Daughtry performed his 4 songs in the Jeff Dunham segment. Okay, the updated listing for Toronto has John Cena, Randy Orton, Big Show, Kane, Cody Rhodes, Goldust, Antonio Cesaro, Alberto Del Rio, Sin Cara, and Zeb Coulter appearing. As for the listing for Raw in Richmond, CM Punk, Mark Henry, Daniel Bryan, The Shield, the Wyatt family, Curtis Axel, Triple H, and Stephanie McMahon appearing. This could be a possible simultaneous Raw. Raw in one area, Raw in the other one. Kind of like WCW did with one of their pay-per-views. So as it stands right now, next week's Raw will be without several of WWE's top superstars, according to the report here. Booker T will be uploading part 1 of his reality wrestling promotion, Christmas Chaos event, on realityofwrestling.com. The show features Stevie Ray, Michael Cole, Shelton Benjamin, the Usos, and more. Wow, Shawn Michaels said his December 16th Raw appearance was a last-minute thing. His segment with CM Punk was on the script that people saw the day before. Louis Uribe, who was the original Sin Cara, will see his WWE contract expire on January 10th. Given that Hunico is currently working the Sin Cara character, nobody expects Uribe to be re-signed to a new deal. However, the belief is that of last week is that it wouldn't be until March that he wouldn't be available to sign with a new promotion. Thus the 90-day no-compete clause. As noted, Heath Slater has been given some time off due to deal with personal issues. He's expected to be back shortly into the new year. While it's been reported that WWE recently released Richie Steamboat after Chris Heroes mentioned it in an interview, the Wrestling Observer newsletter reported that he is still under contract to WWE, and there is no estimate on when he will return from back surgery he had about a year ago. Rick Rude's son was the most recent WWE tryout at the most recent WWE tryout at the Performance Center in Orlando. He has no experience in wrestling. Stone Cold has no contractual ties to WWE right now. That means he can't use the Stone Cold name, which WWE owns, although he has the rights to Steve Austin name, which is now his legal name as part of an agreement with WWE. Former developmental talent Greg DiBiase welcomed his first baby boy into the world over the weekend. Brett is the youngest son of the WWE Hall of Famer Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, because everybody's got a price. Yesterday marked 30 years since Bob Backlund lost the WWE title to the Iron Sheik at Madison Square Garden, and Backlund was present for the live event in the same building. Backlund greeted fans in the lobby and took photos on a green screen for $30 each. Rap legend DMC, who regularly attends WWE events, was with his family at last night's event in New York City. And I'll be posting a photo. He was with Alicia Fox, Naomi, and others, as you will see in the picture. WWE NXT final event last Thursday at its former base in Tampa, Florida. The NXT Arena, formerly known as the FCW Arena, featured the return of Brandy Rhodes, a.k.a. Nee Reed, formerly known in WWE as Eden Styles, and the first live appearance of Sarah Backman, a 22-year-old former World Arm Wrestling Champion from Sweden. The newcomers and other female talent appeared as Santa's helpers during a skit featuring Santa, Eugene, and Aiden English. Rhodes, who is the wife of Cody Rhodes, rejoined WWE this fall after leaving the promotion 2 years ago. Both she and Backman began wrestling training at the WWE Performance Center in November. As noted before, Cody Rhodes, his wife, and WWE developmental diva Brandy Rhodes has her own line of swimwear called Confection Swimwear. She is giving away a free bikini once she reaches 40,000 followers on Twitter. The rules of the contest can be followed at the link that I'm going to post, and it's also on Twitter. You can go to her account, twitter.com/TheBrandyRose. As noted, wrestling legend Bobby Eaton is currently hospitalized again due to complications from his battle with diabetes. Eaton has been working as an agent for traditional championship wrestling and has been in rough shape for quite a while, but took a turn for the worse in recent weeks. He was doing a seminar a few weeks back with David Taylor, formerly his partner with the Blue Bloods, and had no appetite and was said to be in bad shape physically. Fans at last night's WWE live event in Chicago over the weekend had the chance to vote on a stipulation for Mark Henry versus Fandango, which got 53% of the fans voted for a dance-off. Henry ended up dancing to Michael Jackson's Billie Jean and did a moonwalk before Fandango attacked him. Henry ended up fighting Fandango back and doing another moonwalk, and here's a link to that video. It can also be found on Instagram.com/WWE. Several wrestlers are celebrating birthdays this week. Bill Eadie, formerly known as Axe from Demolition, turned 66 years old. Goldberg turned 47. Andy Levine, who's no longer with WWE, had that toughen up win thing, he turned 26. Bart Gunn, former tag team partner of Billy Gunn, turned 50 years old. Chyna turned 43. Rosita from the TNA roster turned 23, and Antonio Cesaro turned 33 as well. Batista will be returning to WWE on January 20th as advertised from last week's Raw, and will be around through WrestleMania 30 apparently, and then taking some time off. The idea is that it is not a one-time WrestleMania deal, but rather a last run for Batista that could go on to last the 2 years. Through his deal, he's expected to take at least some time off to promote Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy movie that he is appearing in. Regarding his return on the Raw 20th show, he will not be wrestling that night because he's not advertised as competing, as his first match back won't be until the Royal Rumble 30-man main event. And that was the news for Christmas Eve. And now for the news for Christmas Day. Al Dandy turned 51 years old. Noted on his Facebook that he is currently training for his first match in well over a year. He will face former tag team partner and rival El Satanico in February. For what it's worth, Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter speculates that Batista is returning to win the 2014 Royal Rumble match and face Randy Orton for the WWE World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania 30. My opinion is somewhat similar, but 30-man Battle Royal could be anybody of that. But it could still be the two still battle it out at WrestleMania. Also, some predictions of matches. HBK versus Daniel Bryan is up there. And also John Cena versus Bray Wyatt. Dyslexia there. Could be possible main event of WrestleMania? I don't think so. To me, that would be the early card, first match of the show. It's been announced that Fast and Furious 7 with The Rock will be released on April 10th, 2015. Instead, since just a little over a week after WWE's WrestleMania 31 pay-per-view, the movie was scheduled to be released in July 2014, but was pushed back due to the death of one of the main actors in the movie, Paul Walker. It was reported in the spring that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson would be starring and producing a dramedy series for HBO chronicling the lives of athletes, some retired, some still active, living in Miami, Florida. On Saturday, the wrestler turned actor tweeted a photo of himself at HBO's production facility in New York. The Rock says, "The block is hot. Partnered up with HBO and Entourage producers to bring ya a great show. It's on. Hashtag ballers," as The Rock remarked on his Twitter. WWE has released a new Total Divas t-shirt, which I will post a photo here, from Cameron. Is this the first woman's t-shirt? Cameron's shirt says, "Girl, bye." Okay, NXT diva Alexa Bliss, the former Lexi Kaufman, picked up her first singles win at last night's NXT Live event in Orlando. Well, that was, of course, Christmas night, somewhere around there. She defeated Sasha Banks. Regarding Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards and their recent tryout work with WWE at the Performance Center in Orlando, apparently the tryout wasn't leading to a deal at first. The idea was that they worked the first week in NXT, and if officials liked them, they would be brought back to the Performance Center and NXT to work for the first few months of 2014. That would then have led to a deal if everything went accordingly. There is still no word yet on whether or not they are coming back after the first of the year, but it's expected. There's lots of talk about TNA getting ready to, or may have already made a play for Edwards and Richards to join them. Former star Dennis Midian Knight turned 45 years old this past week. During a recent podcast, Steve Austin was asked his thoughts on Chris Benoit going into Hall of Fame, and Austin replied, "Well, first and foremost, what I think about Chris Benoit is that guy was one of the most nicest guys I've ever met in my life. He's one of the most talented, hard-working cats I've ever seen in the squared circle. Anybody who knew Chris would tell you those exact two things. The guy loved the damn wrestling business. He was born to be a wrestler and was absolutely phenomenal. Drawing a lot of his influence from the Dynamite Kid, he blazed a path as the Pegasus Kid, and his legacy as the Crippler. Chris Benoit was just one hellacious career. One night, Chris ended up killing his wife and his kid. That is an act so terrible and horrible I can't even comprehend or guess as to what happened in that house. That will always overshadow any accomplishment Chris had ever in the ring. And from that, he'll never be in the Hall of Fame. It will just never happen. His career will speak for itself, but his record as a human being is first and foremost, and those actions will never be forgotten." That's the feelings of Stone Cold on that. We don't even need to talk about the Hall of Fame. Thinking for myself, Chris Benoit, as the person I knew, loved him. Chris Benoit as a wrestler, loved him. Chris Benoit as a person who did what he did, unforgivable. Bottom line. The Stone Cold said so. He's not the $1 million man, $6 million man, Steve Austin. With Heath Slater out of action, as I noted earlier, Ricardo Rodriguez revealed on Twitter that he will be teaming with Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal, possibly his replacement, at this week's Holiday Live event. Probably tribute to the troops, so I missed it. He's commented by saying, "You guys just got word I'll be teaming with 3MB on the Christmas loop. I got this sweet arm drag I learned. See you Madison Square Garden. Hashtag." A photocopy of Maven Huffman's contract with WWE is currently being auctioned off on eBay. What can you do? Buy it for $1? Following Huffman's 2005 departure from WWE, the contract as well as the trophy he was awarded for winning Tough Enough in 2001 and other WWE items wound up in a storage unit in Virginia, his home state. Huffman, however, stopped paying the bill at a storage unit, and his contents were sold to a man for $100. The man reached out to Huffman to return his possessions, but heard nothing back. He then turned to eBay and sold some of the possessions, including the original contract and the trophy, which sold for $600. The trophy sold alone for $600, that is. To view the auction, post a link. eBay. smackdown.com. Post that on there if it's still even up for grabs. As far as Huffman's whereabouts is concerned, mixed martial arts journalist and wrestling fan Ariel Helwani revealed in September by Twitter that he was working at a sports bar in New York City. Former WWE talent Ivelisse Velez posted a message on Facebook earlier this week saying her father had gone missing. She posted an update saying that he finally was found safe. Former WWE star Lanny Poffo, the brother of Macho Man Randy Savage, ooh yeah, Leaping Lanny, for those that didn't know, or the Genius, turned 59 years old, while TNA Knockout Taryn Terrell turned 28. It was posted earlier this week that former WWE star Conan took a shot at former tag team partner R-Truth on Twitter, saying he had no taste. Conan commented saying it's an inside joke between he and Truth, as Conan wrote. For the record, would never diss at Ron Killings. That's my bro for life. It's an inside joke. You guys can stay out or stay on the outside of it. And hashtag shit stirs. Conan is apparently no longer on good terms with R-Truth, who he teamed with in TNA as the member of the 3 Live crew with B.G. James, formerly known as Road Dogg. Earlier this week on Twitter, a wrestling fan who is a father made note of a toddler son selecting a Mattel R-Truth action figure for Christmas. Conan responded to the fan with the following by saying, he has bad taste. Well, I guess R-Truth took it from that. And it was hashtag AHC. Was it come on now. Former WCW United States champion also continued to slam Curtis Axel on the social media platform in response to a user writing Curtis Axel's Twitter handle, Conan's Twitter handle. He wrote, are you referring to the guy that went from IC champ to teaming with Ryback to now doing jobs for Sin Cara? Hashtag awesome. Former WWE developmental talent and Tough Enough contestant Ivelisse Velez says her father was last seen in Chicago, Illinois, who was just recently found. She wrote on Facebook Christmas Day with a photo enclosed. Attention everyone, my father, Luis Velez, has been missing for 3 days. He was last seen in the Chicago area of Asbury Plaza. Please share and repost the picture to find him. If anyone sees him, please contact the following numbers. And there was a phone number of 773-286-3749 or 773-733-6927. Of course, you don't have to do that now because he has been found. According to the IPA network, the former Kelly Kelly, aka Barbie Blank, will be appearing at the Niagara Falls Comic Con, taking place June the 6th, 2014 at the Scotiabank Convention Center in Ontario, Canada. Ric Flair, Demolition members, and Brian Blair and Jumping Jim Bronzell will also be on hand for the event. For those that don't remember, Brian Blair and Jim Bronzell were tag team partners formerly known as the Killer Bees. This week's spoiler for the main event. WWE main event for January 1st episode. Damian Sandow defeated Kofi Kingston with You're Welcome. Cameron and Naomi defeated Alicia Fox and Rosa Mendez with When Naomi Hit the Rear View. The Miz hosted Miz TV segment with Brodus Clay. Brodus was wearing a suit, a big chain like Kama used to wear as his new theme music. As Clay talks trash until Tensai came out and they brawled and Tensai got the upper hand. Music news. Mickey James is performing at Mama's Country Showcase in Griffin, Georgia on New Year's Eve this year. Meet and greet tickets are available and you can visit SpearEntertainment.com or call 770-584-8314 for more info on that, and you can possibly get an autograph from her. And January 3rd, 2014 episode for SmackDown. Here's the results for that. Eric Rowan and Luke Harper versus Cody Rhodes and Goldust for the WWE Tag Team titles were advertised for later on tonight. The Shield came out to the ring to kick off SmackDown with a promo and say that they're stronger than ever. Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns versus Usos was up first. Dean Ambrose interferes and causes the disqualification, but CM Punk makes the save. Miss Guerrero, Piggy Guerrero, comes out and makes a six-man match for the main event. Next match was R-Truth defeating Fandango, where Cameron and Naomi appeared on the stage and provided a distraction. Renee Young with a backstage segment with Big E Langston. He talks about Brock Lesnar attacking Mark Henry. Apparently Henry challenged Lesnar on Raw. Curtis Axel appeared, so there's a spoiler for Raw tonight as well. Axel versus Big E Langston was taking place in the show. Goldust and Cody Rhodes retained the WWE Tag titles over Eric Rowan and Luke Harper by roll-up. Nikki Bella defeated Oksana. Big E Langston defeated Curtis Axel with the big ending. CM Punk and the Usos defeated the Shield when Punk hit the GTS on Ambrose. They retaped a Bad News Barrett segment from earlier, as Barrett had a new podium. Alright, tape for December 18th. Actually, taped on December 18th for 1228 Superstars. The 200th episode of WWE NXT is now online at this link. WWE taped the following matches from San Antonio, Texas to air on December 28th episode of Superstars. Natalya versus Oksana. Antonio Cesaro versus Dolph Ziggler in a match described as way too good for Superstars. The dark match before that taping in San Antonio saw the Usos defeat Ryback and Curtis Axel. And that's all the news I have for the January 3rd episode of SmackDown, the main event, and of course Superstars. Thanks for viewing. Peace out.